Hebrews 10:26-27. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful expectation of judgment and fiery indignation which will devour the adversaries. Many believers read this verse and they fear they have crossed the line with God. But let us pause for a moment and understand that this verse is not about losing individual salvation.
The writer of Hebrews is speaking to Jewish believers under great pressure to go back to the temple system. To willfully sin meant saying Christ's blood wasn't enough. There is no other sacrifice for sin because Jesus is the final and perfect offering. If a person rejects Christ, there is no plan B. The law's sacrifices could not cleanse sin. This is what it means in Hebrews 10:27, but a certain fearful expectation of judgment and a fiery indignation which shall devour the adversaries. The fearful judgment is not referring to hell for believers, but it's a temporal judgment which was the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. It was when the Old Covenant system was completely removed. Those who rejected Christ's blood faced earthly devastation and loss, while believers entered into a new and living way, which we see in Hebrews 10:19-22. Rejecting Christ and his blood leads to fear because there is nowhere else to run. There are no other sacrifices. There are no other priests. There is no other covering for sin. This is why it says in Hebrews 10:35, "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which has great recompense of reward." To sin willfully is not to stumble, but to willfully disbelieve in the sufficiency of the blood of Jesus. It is not about moral lapse like many works-based pastors preach. It is a heart that refuses grace and returns back to the law and moral effort. For unbelievers, this rejection leads to judgment. For believers who waver or regress, God disciplines them, but he does not condemn them. He draws them back to faith. Even after this warning, the author he ends with an encouragement. Hebrews 10:38-39 says, "The just shall live by faith. But if any man draws back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not one of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul." He is saying to them that it's not you. You belong to those who believe. You have endured affliction. You have faith that endures. And you are not one of them who draw back. So keep believing and keep coming to the Lord boldly. Even when you stumble, his blood still speaks of better things. If you have drifted or have doubted, you are still invited. You haven't gone too far. Grace is not revoked. You are not those who draw back unto perdition, but to those who believe to the saving of the soul.